Welcome, everyone, to the Special Education Inner Circle podcast. I'm your host, Catherine Witcher, and today we're going to talk about how life skills in the IEP is not lowering expectations. So often I hear from parents that they do not want to put life skills into an IEP because their child will not be held to high expectations. They're worried that if they're working on functional math skills, that the child will not be thought of as smart enough to learn the higher level of reading or higher level of math, or they won't have access to science or to social studies. That's simply not true. In fact, if we look at the foundation of an IEP, which is to provide a free and appropriate public education that meets a child's unique needs, that prepares them for further education, employment, and independent living, it is absolutely critical that we look at life skills. Now, I have two children that are in the school system, and I know firsthand that there is absolutely no way that the school system is going to teach my children everything they need to do so they are prepared for further education, employment, independent living. I have zero choice of where to send my children to school and what their curriculum is going to look like. When a child has an IEP, you have the ability to start to customize some of the curriculum and really design some of the outcomes that are going to happen inside of your child's school day. Take advantage of that and really start to look at what do you need for your child for the future. Teachers, if you're listening to this, I'm telling you that when you start to tap into what the parent needs long-term for their child to achieve, you will have the easiest time writing IEP goals that make sense for both the school and for the family. You're going to be able to find that balance between meeting state standards and meeting that expectation of preparing a child for further education, employment, and independent living. So I was just talking with a master IEP coach. Her name is Sandy. She's located in Florida. She has a son who was in special education, and he's 22 now. And looking back, she wishes that she was able to blend his IEP a little bit better, meaning that, yes, he needed to work on his academic goals in all of the core areas of math and reading, science and social studies, but he also needs to be able to balance his bank account and really be able to obtain gainful employment and be a meaningful part of the community. I shared just a few days ago about how I took my daughter out to Five Guys to go get burgers and fries. The internet was down. People were ordering on their app, showing up at the store. The store employee said, "Sorry, our internet's down. I never got that order." And people left without their food. Mind you, I was sitting in the restaurant with my daughter eating my food. So obviously the restaurant was open. They could provide food, but you had to order a different way. You had to problem solve on what to do next. That is a huge skill. So when we're looking at life skills inside of an IEP, we are not lowering expectations. We are actually setting a strong foundation to be able to use the higher level skills. Because if you do not have the ability to use the skills, then the skills are irrelevant. So it doesn't matter if you can do the most complicated math problem if you can't figure out how to do to balance the budget in your bank account. It doesn't matter if you can read the highest level novel if you don't know how to read instructions to cook something at home. It doesn't matter if you have these higher level skills if you can't apply them both at home and in the community. Again, by no means do I ever want to lower our expectations for a child, but I also want to make sure that you are on purpose inside of the IEP, meaning that you're working towards a defined outcome. We kind of laughed a little bit as master IEP coaches just a few minutes ago and said, I need my child to be able to go to Target. Like, I want to put that in the IEP. I want them to be able to go to Target. And it was funny the way that we said it, but it's really not funny. As in, there are a lot of skills that go into going to Target. You got to be able to get into the car. You got to be able to ride safely. You got to be able to get through the parking lot and know about safety in the parking lot. You need to be able to walk through the store. You need to be able to hurry up and wait. That's adulting right there, right? Hurry up and wait. So yes, there's a lot of academic skills that need to be addressed inside of an IEP. But if we can't get out in the community or function with our family to use those skills are going to be lost. So if you are deciding right now in the middle of this chaos with our schools shut down or remote learning or hybrid or on campus with modified, whatever your school situation is, bottom line is our school systems, they fell apart this past 6 months. And we can go back to how things were, and we can go back to you have to choose academic or you have to choose life skills, or we could put things back together better than ever. We could put things back together in a way that blends a child's education to meet the needs of a whole person. We could look at special education in an entirely different way, as that it's not a modified version of helping a student keep up with the other kids just to meet state standards or teaching to a test, but that we could actually put this together and individualize a plan that promotes independence in all of those areas of further education, employment, and independent living to whatever the child's potential is. We could open up doors in an entirely different way if we would look at the IEP as not just a few goals that we need to tack on to a child's day and that we have to transition through as quickly as possible so we can fit everything in. But if we slow it down and really think of the child's unique needs and what they're going to need long term, so when they turn 22 and the school system stops serving them and the bus stops coming and we have to rely on community services and everything seems to fall apart again, that a parent and that child are going to have the resources and the foundation to truly move into adulthood in a productive way. So we need to rethink special education. You guys, we have not redesigned the IEP laws in decades. There were a few changes, let's see, in 2014. But besides for that, we're talking, this is a law from the 70s that is governing our students' education, that's supposed to be preparing them for a future that in the 70s, there's no way they could predict what a child would need right now. So I want you to reframe your thinking and know that life skills is not lowering expectations. It's taking care of a whole child. It's building a foundation, and it's making sure that they truly can apply their education when school ends. If you're ready to build a better IEP, you need to be around people who know how to do this. You want to do it, and you want to help other people do it. Come on over to masteriepcoach.com. That's where we're creating change. We're the idea bringers, solution finders, and team builders at the IEP table. I'll see you there at masteriepcoach.com.